We are just a few weeks away from the start of the 2024 United Football League season, and I cannot be more excited. With the USFL and XFL coming together to form one strong spring league, I thought it would be fun to go through each team and preview their head coach, roster, and schedule. In this video, I will be previewing the Houston Roughnecks. The Roughnecks are an interesting team because they take on the Houston XFL name, but are basically the USFL's Houston Gamblers besides the name. They're an interesting team heading into the 2024 season, so let's talk about that. But before we get into this, if you enjoy college football and spring league football content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, let me know who your favorite UFL team is in the comment section below. Back in 2020, the Houston Roughnecks were the best team in the XFL, led by now NFL quarterback PJ Walker and coached by the great June Jones. In 2023, led by now Battlehawks quarterback Brandon Silvers and new San Antonio Brahmas coach Wade Phillips, the Roughnecks of the XFL would finish the 2023 season 7-3, winning the XFL South Division, but lost to the eventual champions Arlington Renegades in the playoffs 26-11. But this is not that Houston team. While they keep the Roughnecks name, they are actually originally the USFL's Houston Gamblers. When the USFL returned, the Houston Gamblers were actually led by former Texas A&M and Arizona head coach Kevin Sumlin, and things did not really go their way. Although they started the season off 1-0, they would drop their next 7 games before winning their last 2 games of the season, with one of those actually being over the Birmingham Stallion, giving them their only loss of the season in 2022. Kevin Sumlin would be fired after a 3-7 season due to the poor performance and would be replaced by Curtis Johnson. Johnson started his coaching career in 1984 after he graduated from Idaho coaching wide receivers at Lewistown High School, and he would serve as the wide receivers coach for Idaho, San Diego State, SMU, California, and Miami. He would serve as Miami's wide receiver coach from 1996 to 2005, where he would help them win the 2001 national title, and coached guys like Andre Johnson, Santana Moss, and Reggie Wayne, while also being credited for recruiting Ed Reed to the Hurricanes. After his stint with Miami, he would return to his home state of New Orleans to join the Saints coaching staff as a member of Sean Payton's original coaching staff down in the Big Easy. He would coach Marcus Colston, Devery Henderson, Robert Meacham, and Lance Moore, where they would combine for 108 touchdowns in 35 games with 100 receiving yards or more for quarterback Drew Brees, and he would be a part of the coaching staff that brought New Orleans to Super Bowl in 2009 when they won Super Bowl XLIV. In 2012, Johnson would be named the head coach at Tulane, where he would coach them through their transition from the Conference USA to the American Conference. Although the team improved from 2-10 in his first season to 7-6 in his second year in 2013, back-to-back 3-9 seasons would lead to his dismissal as head coach with a 15-34 record. Rick Dixon would tell the media, "I want to thank CJ for his hard work and dedication to rebuilding the Green Wave football program. His efforts were rewarded in 2013 when Tulane reached its first bowl in 11 years. Since then, however, the program has not progressed to the level that we aspire to." Johnson would then join the Chicago Bears coaching staff as a wide receiver coach in 2016, but returning back to the Saints until 2021. Johnson would then join the Gamblers coaching staff in 2023, helping them go 5-5 last year. Johnson is expected to work heavily with the wide receivers this season as well. Eric Price will serve as Houston's offensive coordinator. He has had stops at the Jets, Chiefs, and Jaguars in the NFL, along with Tulane and Alabama in college, and was a part of the staff last season, and has experience coaching quarterbacks and wide receivers as well. Chris Wilson will serve as the defensive coordinator and linebacker coach, and has over 30 years of coaching experience between college and professional football. He was a part of the Eagles Super Bowl winning coaching staff in 2018 when he was the defensive line coach. He is a former player as well. Houston will have a very interesting quarterback room with no returning quarterbacks from either the Gamblers nor the Roughnecks iteration of the team. Reed Sinnett played college ball at San Diego, where he finished as a finalist for the Walter Payton Award when he threw for 3,528 yards, 32 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, while also rushing for 6 touchdowns on the ground his senior season. He has since spent time with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Miami Dolphins, Philadelphia Eagles, San Antonio Brahmas, and Cincinnati Bengals. Jarrett Garantano was an Under Armour All-American coming out of high school and played college football at Tennessee and Washington State, throwing for 6,478 yards, 39 touchdowns, and 20 interceptions, and went undrafted during the 2022 NFL Draft. He has since spent time with the Arizona Cardinals and Denver Broncos. Nolan Henderson played college football for Delaware, where he threw for 6,444 yards, 56 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions throughout his career, and went 20-11 as a starter. His senior year in 2012 would be the only season he would get more than 8 starts in a season. He would go undrafted during the 2023 NFL Draft and spent time with the Baltimore Ravens. Reid Sinnett is the favorite to win the starting job. Mark Thompson was the Gamblers' leading rusher last year, finishing the regular season as the league's second leading rusher with 653 yards and leading the league with 14 rushing touchdowns. Two names to keep an eye on joining him are TJ Pledger, who played at Oklahoma and Utah in college, and former Louisville running back Tyron Evans, who will probably round out the room. Speedsters Cyril Grayson and Justin Hall return, while also having Isaiah Henney, Steve Dunbar, and Kirk Merritt at wide receiver. At the tight end position, Clint Sig Jr. returns, while they also added New Jersey Generals Brandon Bowman and Woody Brandon along with Ryan Izzo. Although both Johnson and Price have backgrounds in coaching wide receivers, the Roughnecks are expected to rely on the ground game heavily. The Roughnecks returned every member of their starting offensive line from the Gamblers, but still invested heavily in the position group this offseason. They added the highest graded USFL offensive lineman from last year, Shamarius Gilmore, and this group should be an interesting one to watch this season if they plan to rely heavily on the run, especially with their inexperienced quarterback room. When it comes to their defensive side of the ball, their defensive line has a lot of experienced guys who either started in the XFL or USFL or were role players with their previous teams. Jeffrey Johnson is the only returning player from last year's team. They added Keontae Shad from the Breakers, Toby Johnson from the Generals, and former Wisconsin Badger Olivier Sagapolu from the Maulers. A surprising cut this past weekend was former All-USFL defensive tackle Reggie Howard Jr., who finished last season with 20 tackles and a sack and a half with the New Orleans Breakers. When it comes to the edge position, they added former USFL Defensive Player of the Year Chris Odom and All-USFL edge Adam Rodriguez. They returned Ronheen Bingham and Isaiah Chambers, who were starters last year as well. The unit could be fun to watch. When it comes to their linebacker position, former first-round pick Reuben Foster should be a name to keep an eye on. He won the Buck Gist Award and finished as a unanimous All-American in 2016 when he played for Alabama and finished his rookie year with the San Francisco 49ers as an all-rookie team member according to PFWA. Injuries and off-the-field issues have since derailed his career, though last week he did work out for the Miami Dolphins. The Gamblers returned JT Tyler while also adding Ace Ely, who spent 2023 with the Carolina Panthers practice squad. Gabriel Sewell Jr., the brother of Lions Penei Sewell, spent time with the Philadelphia Stars last year and also joins the room. Jeremiah Johnson was a surprising cut last week, but has since been re-signed. He started for the Gamblers the past 2 years in the secondary and played for the Roughnecks in 2020. In early March, they signed Corin Elders, who has been in the NFL since 2017, and Jimmy Moreland, who also has starting experience in the NFL. The secondary has been a concern for this team all offseason. When it comes to their specialists, J.J. Molson won the starting kicking job, though he hasn't kicked in a game in over 2 years, beating out all-USFL kicker Luis Aguilar. Hunter Niswander should be the team's punter, while Logan Klusman will be the team's long snapper. The Roughnecks roster is an interesting one, as they went for more size than anything else. They supposedly have not looked good in joint practices and scrimmages this season, though. When it comes to their schedule, Houston opens up the season against Memphis at home, and it is a series I believe they split, so I have them starting the season 1-0. Then they travel to take on the DC Defenders, and I believe they lose this game. I think they lose the following week to Michigan on the road, continue their losing streak against Arlington and Birmingham, as well as on the road against St. Louis. They finally break their 5-game losing streak when they host San Antonio, but fall to Birmingham on the road heading into the final 2 weeks of the season with the 2-6 record. I think to end the season, they split their last 2 games of the season with a home win against Michigan and a loss on the road to Memphis to finish the year 3-7. I have a lot of concerns when it comes to their inexperienced quarterback room, their performances in scrimmages this preseason, and their struggles in the secondary heading into the season, though I would not be surprised if I end up being completely wrong about this team. But what do you think? How well will the Houston Roughnecks do this year? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos YouTube thinks you will love right here. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.